Welcome to episode, let's see, what number are we? 72 of About the Cards podcast live tonight on YouTube. As always, we are brought to you by 1991 Fleer. As always with me, my host, Stephen Waffle at Drug Wax Twins, Ben Wilson at our trading cards, and I'm Sam Shelper at Big Chef 79. We are a podcast by collectors, for collectors, hoping to bring you a smart and insightful podcast discussing trading card collecting. We're live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific.
And 10 Central, 11 Eastern.
YouTube, Periscope, Facebook Live. Follow us on Twitter at About the Cards. We're available as a podcast pretty much everywhere. Check out our website, aboutthecards.wordpress.com. And you can also hang out with us on the Flick Chat app. Talk about the pod in 91 Fleer. So tonight we have a special guest with us, as you see. Nick Woskia is back. What's up, Nick? How are we doing tonight?
Well, how are you guys?
Outstanding. So if you guys aren't familiar, Nick was on previously with us a few months back. He's a photo addict with a sports problem, the freelance photographer. He was also run over at a Vikings-Eagles game by defensive back Craig James of the Eagles. You recovered?
Yeah, the only hit he made all game, probably.
So, funny story. I'm painting my daughter's soon-to-be daughter here, her bedroom, and I'm watching the Viking. I was watching the Vikings-Eagles game, and I just, for whatever reason, I took a minute. I was just checking out the score, and I see the touchdown, and I go, "Dude, that was Nick." And so I rewind it. And I keep watching. I'm like, "Yeah, that is." So I took a picture and I sent it to these guys. And I go, "Dude, I think Nick just got pummeled on national television." So
yeah, I got trucked. My phone was blowing up, and I'm like, "You guys, I'm fine." The rumors of my demise were greatly exaggerated, and I just had to put the phone away because I had to work.
Yeah. How is that down there? Is that fun?
Yeah, it's cool. I'm not gonna lie, and I love it.
Yeah.
And the thing too, it happened so fast. It was it didn't really hurt. It was more like I've never done martial arts or anything like that, but it felt like judo, where he came on me or just he hit me, and then I sort of popped up and my knee threw him up and he was 2 seconds gone, right?
Yeah,
just rolled right off me, and then the video guy in front of me, he was just laid out, and he's on my legs. I'm like, "Buddy, you okay? You okay?" And he's still shooting, and I grab my camera and I still do the job, right? And that was it. And then after that is I'm a meme or a GIF, and then can I post this? And I'm like, it's going to be on the internet anyway. I don't care.
I've been watching a lot of Tom and Jerry lately.
Yeah.
And it seemed like an episode where, Tom all of a sudden gets pounded slowly into the ground.
Right.
By Spike. It just seemed like, one moment you're there and then the next moment you're, underneath the turf, and then you pop up and it's just like, that's awesome.
Well, I wanted, and then the game afterwards, I wanted to take a picture of that spot and then do the trace outline of the dead cameras there, but just didn't have time.
No, that's pretty awesome. I was actually at a 49ers game years ago where Vernon Davis actually took out a photographer and he got sent to the hospital, and they found out he had some awful cancer.
Yeah, and if he wouldn't have got hit, they wouldn't have known about it.
Yeah, and without the hit, they wouldn't have known about it. Saved his life.
Right.
And but it was just, it's one of those things you never know, but to be professional and stay the job, you see the guys get all the time too, for CBS or NBC or whatever, getting trucked on the sidelines, and they're still, they're still going out and doing the job, which is, which is awesome. But I told my wife, I was like, well, that's my buddy Nick that we hung out with, and but so you pop up and that you're here with us tonight. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm still alive. I'm good.
So what's new? Go ahead, Steph.
I think what he's trying to say is next time we're together, we owe you an icy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
A lemonade
or a beef sandwich.
Maybe.
Hot beef. So you have something new coming up.
Yes.
What's going on with you, bud?
So after, it's all your guys' fault after being on the show, Upper Deck called and said, hey, let's do something around the whole Jack Hughes bit. And last 3 months I've been filming and running around the country doing as much as I can. And probably within the next couple of weeks, they're going to start releasing stuff here. So
awesome.
It's a little different process when you have so many people involved. If I just go do something, I put it online, I'm done. But now you have the NHL, the Players Association, people's agents. There's a lot of sort of people with vested interest in projects like this. So it's a little slower than I thought it would be, but it's still happening. And the UD1 gets released tomorrow, and I'm going to be filming at my local card shop. We're going to have a big to-do out there, and we'll see where it goes. Hopefully it takes off. If not, I got to say I did it,
Yeah, no, that's the thing, right? That's like why we did this podcast. We're going to do it. If it doesn't work out, then, oh, well, we tried that. At least we gave it the effort.
Right.
I geeked on the fact that you were at the headquarters and they were picking up shots for Young Guns cards.
Right.
That to me was, and I just, like I said, I opened my first box of hockey this summer and Series 2 of last year, and just to understand what that card really is and or what it means for hockey collectors, and to sit there and see that process. What was that like?
It was it was the golden ticket getting in to see inside of Wonka's Chocolate Factory, and I think that episode especially is going to be really popular with the collectors because you don't get these sort of inside behind the curtain looks every day places like Upper Deck. So I'm going to be really excited when the film gets released. And I'm not going to lie, I told all those guys there, like, I hope I'm holding it together here because, like, it was really hard not to geek out where you go in a back room and they have archives of every photo they ever shot on slides.
Oh, wow.
Like these, and John Ibrix, the head photographer there, is like, hey, you want to start looking at this stuff? I'm like, dude, you'll never get me out of here.
So you had the big jacket on, like people that go into the movie theater with all of their candy underneath their jacket.
I wish. You
walk out and you got stuff in your pockets and.
Well, I walk in and they have the light table. The light table back in the day was what it sounds like. It's a light table. You put the slide in there and you get the loop and you look down. And I look down and it's a medium format slide, so it's about that big, and it's Wayne Gretzky and Brett Hull at an All-Star game, just sitting there doing something like. That's the first thing I saw. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is awesome. Well, you're going to hang out the show with us tonight, right? Because we're going to talk some hockey and
absolutely
make fun of each other.
Fair enough.
All right, I appreciate it. So we'll hop into it. The week that was last week's release is Topps Living Week 86. It was a 2-card week, the first one we've had. Card 255, Ty Cobb, Hall of Fame outfielder of the Detroit Tigers, sold 9 short of 3,700. Card 256, Josh James, rookie pitcher of the Astros, sold almost 2,300. You can check out at Topps Living staff for full breakdown of where these cards fall, respectively, in the set by team and position. I'm surprised that Cobb got up that high. He wasn't as high as good old Honus was, so that's good. But I think he was like 140 overall.
Yeah, but that card is phenomenal, and
It really is.
You're also talking about one of a handful, half dozen guys that are beyond iconic, to where, if Ruth was coming down now versus when he was dropped, obviously if they ever got the rights to Mantle, Gehrig, there's going to be a handful of guys that are going to be a little bit better. And I know 3,700 is not that fantastic, but considering where it's been, it's been much, much better. But yeah, that card's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty sharp. Real quick, a shout out to Foul 5 Ball. Wow, I always get that wrong. He missed last week's show live. Yeah, we were concerned. There's a fire by his house for the second time in 2 years. So I'm glad it sounds like hopefully everything's okay with you and in your neighborhood there. So it's been crazy out here. 2019 Panini Flawless Baseball also dropped last week. It was the one release. We'll hop into hot off the presses this week's new releases. Topps Living Week 87. Card 257, Sean Doolittle, World Series champion pitcher of the Washington Nationals. Card 258, Michael Kopech, rookie of the Chicago White Sox. Another 2-card week. And we talked pre-show. Topps hasn't come out and said anything. So that's kind of confusing. Like, this has been a pretty, this is going on almost, over 2 full years now, almost 2 full years now. And we haven't had anything saying, hey, like, we changed the 2 cards because
it's the off season.
But they did 3 cards in last off season, right? I mean,
it would be a good time to change this whole program and just announce going into the new year, moving forward, they're going to do 2 cards every week, or that they're only doing 2 cards temporarily and 3 cards will come back, in March, April. We were talking off air that our bias, of course, that we've mentioned on here before, would be a good time now to change the program to allow, veterans, guys like Nolan Ryan and Mike Piazza, opportunities to have multiple cards, whether they're spaced out or whatever the particulars are. Now would be a really good time for them just to drop a press release and explain the change from 3 to 2 and anything else they might want to throw in there at the moment.
Yeah.
But they're not going to, because why would they?
Yeah, but the Doolittle card, I mean, he's not a huge name, but he's gotten a lot of pub lately just the way he's been celebrating the World Series, which is cool, kind of like Ovechkin did when the Capitals won. I think he's still partying off of that.
Yeah.
But the Doolittle's a sharp-looking card.
It's a great card. Yeah, I mean, the blue eyes and the glasses and the beard. I mean, the detail on his beard is phenomenal. And, but yeah, I mean, Doolittle has had a couple of comments recently. Obviously, he didn't go to the White House, made a political statement. So he got a little bit of press there. And then he also had made that comment. I forget which reporter it was that had made when Daniel Hudson left the team at the beginning of the NLDS because his wife was giving birth, and some reporter made a jackass comment about, how dare you? Right now is when your team needs you. And Doolittle's like, if you're saying anything other than, hey, congratulations, I hope everybody made it through the birth okay, then you're an a-hole. And so yeah, Doolittle's had a little bit of press recently on his own. So
yeah. Well, I'm not going to miss a show, baby. I'm going to keep the streak alive.
It's a much nicer photo than the Kopech. And no offense. Maybe it's just the way that his face is stretched out a little bit.
Doolittle almost looks like a photo, and maybe Nick can speak to that more than I can because that's his profession, but the Kopech looks more like artwork.
Photorealistic.
Yeah.
Is the same artist still doing all of these? You guys got to hit me for this.
Yes. For now.
Maybe, yeah. She kind of hadn't renewed her deal with Topps.
Well, I saw some of that too, where like just the workload and then everybody, kind of ragging on the work. But maybe that's not why they went down to 2. They're just, what they have is what they have, and they're spacing them out.
Yeah. So that's what our thought was as well. So, no, I think it's a fun time to release Doolittle because I could have named a couple 100,000 guys before I would name Sean Doolittle getting a card. But I like it's good timing. So, also this week, 2019 Top Stranger Things dropped. It's called Welcome to the Upside Down. It's $62 a box, 24 packs per box, 7 cards per pack. You're going to get 1 autograph or sketch card. You're going to get also an additional autograph, sketch card, or mem card, or maybe even a manufactured relic. One of those 4 will be in there. It's a 100-card base set. It's the 3rd trading card release for this series from Netflix. Rather than sticking to a specific season like the first 2, this one's more thematic about the approach. It dives into the upside down with the darker designs and monstrous side roads. So it gives them more of a grittier look, I guess, than the other releases. I opened 2 boxes of Series 2 or last year's 2018's release, and it was fun. Good looking cards. I had the first set. I bought off someone. So if you like the show, it's totally nostalgia for the 80s kids. So I'm excited to see that they're continuing to release some of this product.
So real quick, I bought Heather Series 1 or Season 1, however they're labeling, and I really, really appreciate it. I'm not a fan of the show. I'm not a fan of the genre, but I loved the card stock. Has the card stock maintained itself as they've come?
Yeah, it's still basically it's the heritage stock.
Right. Yeah. Which is the exact. I mean, when I hold Stranger Things and obviously Heritage, and then you hold Living, it's just like, come on, man, that would have been a perfect stock to have used. But we've discussed that ad nauseum.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see that. I just, it's not sports, but I had to bring it up since it's something that is near and dear. We've all, I know that Steph and you and Ange have hopped into a little bit, right?
Yeah, we've. I think Ange broke 2 boxes of Series 2, and we were gifted a set for Series 1, base anyway. And come payday, we'll probably pick up a box or two if we're not having to flee to Minnesota for reasons. It should be a fun break. Usually is.
Yeah, no, it's always exciting. We also have 2019-20 NBA Panini NBA hoops drop today. Now it's weird. I'm going to say this: $128 a box, 24 packs per box, 8 cards per pack. You're going to receive 2 autographs and 24 inserts, indoor parallels. It's a 300 card base set. Hoops is going to be the first release this year at the 2019 draft class in their actual NBA uniforms. There's Hoops tribute cards, which include past stars and invoke a retro vibe, similar to the 91-92 set, which I thought was a great set. That's probably just because I collected the holy hell out of it. Getting Larry Johnson rookies and in there, but it's a sharp looking set. I actually have a box right here, but I sold it. So because it was it sold for over $120, and just give you an idea, these boxes were usually averaging around $80 the last few years, sometimes even less. We talked about last week. It also has Hoops art signatures, which is a new addition this year. They're on-card signatures, and there's also a dual pair with rookie stars. Short print champion cards with the Toronto Raptors, and then retail is going to have some exclusive inserts and autograph sets.
And if I'm not mistaken, First Off the Line tried to launch today.
So I guess it's going to be second off the line now.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so we're going to get into that later. It's just disappointing. I mean, that I to me, it doesn't surprise me more when First Off the Line doesn't work. Like whether no one can get it, or everybody gets upset, or it's coming to be expected.
Yeah, it surprises me when it does work, and that's why I made the crack on the show account that it's more of first servers online, because they could actually stand to upgrade the process a little bit. I mean, we've shown in the past where someone's literally clicking with 2 fingers to hit buy and refresh, and still not getting through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as long as Top Sapphire and First Off the Line, and all these Tops and Panini products are selling out in a matter of minutes, even though you're upsetting the masses, and we all have the medium of Twitter and other social media platforms to discuss and rant and be upset as a group. I mean, as long as they're selling out, what's it matter? Why would any of these companies change?
Well, at least Top's website actually works when you go to lately when you've gone to go and buy it, because Panini's site doesn't. I mean, it showed today, and it crashes and stuff like that. So there's that right there. There's that tribute that you see, the Charles Barkley with the 91-92 design.
Mm-hmm.
Love that, and he's got that old stupid Sixers jersey with like the sea of sparkle. It looks like something out of Rainbow Bright.
Stars rolling up the side, yeah.
Like
those old. I mean, slightly older for you guys, newer for you guys, but the all the little sticker sets and Art Deco stuff that you'd come across as a kid, like the Lisa Frank stuff where they had like the sticker roller. It's kind of looks like what they did up the jersey there, just a little star pattern just rolled straight up to the chest.
Yep. Oh, good old Charles.
Sir Charles.
Yep, Sir Charles. 2019 Topps Dynasty drops today, $365 a box, 1 pack per box, 1 card per pack. You're getting an autograph, memorabilia card, or a cut signature. There are 82 player subjects. They're active and retired. There are players appearing with multiple teams, like Robbie Alomar is like on every team he played for. He has like 4 teams. Virtually every card is autographed autographed patch card with with an on-card autograph. Good Lord, guys, I can't talk tonight. Numbered to 10 or less.
So like this number to 5 that's on screen?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a couple of Topps Dynasty cards from years past, and they're okay. They're not bad, but at the price point and some of the lesser players that are still selling for ridiculous prices, to me, it's such an easy pass for even guys like myself on the secondary market. It's just there's so much of that crap out. Why would anybody want this, especially at retail, where it's extremely overpriced?
What, you can't 365 a card? It's not a good deal.
Well, yeah. When you get random schmo, the guy that's on the checklist to pull down the Mike Trouts of the world.
Go scroll down to the checklist. Let's see who the worst player is, real quick, Steph.
Sure. Auto.
Let's see. Yeah.
We just spent $365, and we didn't get Mike Trout, and we didn't get, a retired star.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's out of the 82 guys. I mean,
it's obviously this guy,
Kirby Puckett. No, I mean, Aaron Nola might be the guy. Blake Snell.
Stan Kovalevsky.
You just spent $365 and you got an Aaron Nola numbered 8 out of 10. How excited are you?
Wait, you spent $365 and you just pulled a Nomar Garciaparra.
Yeah, I mean, even some of the guys. I mean, even a Robbie Alomar, is he going to net out of 10? I mean, in years past, McGuire out of 10 is only costing you, $1.25. I don't know what he would in this particular year, but
what you're telling me is buy it by the case.
I'm telling you, don't buy it at all. I'm telling you, if you need it that bad, go on eBay and buy it at 25 to 35% of retail for whichever player you want. Because unless you're getting a 101, there is nothing on that checklist that's going to get you $365 on the secondary market.
But the Buster Posey out of 5.
I'm saying,
yeah, I would.
What's that really going to net you? $150? Come on, you're at 45% to cost. There's no way your internal rate of return will come near your overall cost. I mean, it's anybody who's opening this, unless you're doing it in high volume and you get super lucky, you're gonna eat it on this one. You're gonna take a bath.
Well, and so. Not to discourage people who want to waste their money on a high-end product like this, on a hope that you get the top 1 or 2 cards. But on this card in particular, and no offense to the legendary Hank Aaron, but that has to be a mock-up.
Yeah, it's on his autograph now.
Good in a couple of years.
So, yeah, and you're telling me for anybody that has the gambling itch, anybody that has the investment itch and really wants to invest in a card, you're telling me you couldn't redivert that $365 into one really good Bowman Chrome Auto?
Oh, no, yeah.
I mean, this is just some of the cards look okay, but they're not great. Yeah, and they're definitely not, like I said, I own 1 or 2 and they're okay, but they're not nearly anywhere near my favorite cards, especially where they should be because of the cost associated.
Yeah, we're gonna move on. We're spending too much time on a set that not a lot of people here are gonna run down based on that. Hey, it's Ben. Can you do me a favor? Just turn down your volume just a little bit because we're getting a lot of choppiness. Back a little bit. I appreciate it. 2019 Panini Prizm Draft Picks Collegiate Baseball dropped today. $100 a box. 5 cards per pack. 5 packs per box. 8 cards per pack. 5 autographs. 15 Prizm parallels. You're going to need it. 100, like I said, it's a 100-card base set following the majority of the players in the setup for the June draft, and it's similar to the football and baseball releases they have of this. So each of the guys have a home and away jersey type thing, and each parallel or each card has 16 parallels. So each guy has 32 parallels. If you want both cards and all the parallels, if you're going to build a rainbow of one guy, and that's just base cards, not even autographs. Have some dual autographs with teammates. I don't know. It didn't have a checklist until mid-afternoon today, and we're going to talk about it later. But Ken Kinsley was a little like, "Hey, what the hell's going on?" And we'll talk about that later in the show. So. I don't know. I mean, it's Prizm Collegiate.
Look amazing.
Yeah,
but that's about all I can say for the set.
Yeah, I mean it's collegiate. It's collegiate baseball at that. Not
Who's on the checklist?
the draft picks from 19. It was Rushman and all those guys, Bobby Witt, Vaughn. But the thing is with that, it's collegiate baseball. Not like no one follows collegiate baseball like they do football or basketball. There's not you don't get the same thing about the recruiting and following these guys and that kind of stuff. So
no, and going back to our conversation with Jimmy last week is you don't have that connection in baseball first and foremost, and then team collectors, player collectors, they're not as desirable to me. Any kind of college only baseball product is just a throwaway product. I don't know if I'm in the minority with that thought process or not, but I don't think I am.
Yeah, it's much rather be like a minor league product. I think it would done better. But 2019-20 Upper Deck Series 1 drops tomorrow, $80 a box, 24 cards, 24 packs per box, 8 cards per pack. The way it's going to break down, you're going to get 1 Next Generation card, or Generation Next card, 4 Pure Energies, 1 Shooting Stars, 4 UD Canvas, 40 UD Portraits, and 6 Young Gun rookie cards. It's a 250 card base set. The first 200 are vets. The last 50 are Young Guns. There's 4 per hobby box. 1 for every 4 hobby packs, and the same for e-pack and retail and blasters and the 10s and fat packs. But if you're at the dollar store, they're 1 in every $50 store packs. Series 1 marks the 30th consecutive year for the set. Again, it brings back the awesome photography that really has made this set in the past. November release date means some of the start of the season rookies will debut and make their way into packs, such as first overall pick in the 2019 NHL draft, Jack Hughes. So they pushed it back a little bit to be able to get these guys in, right? Because they have to appear in a game in the NHL before they can have a rookie card, correct? That's the rule.
Right.
So they move it back a little bit to get some of these brand new guys in here, so they're not waiting to Series 2 to have them in there. I think that's pretty cool. Nick, go at it, bud. What do you think?
Well, I'm biased, but I love it. This is my favorite time of year. This is my Christmas when this comes out, because every year we pick it up and the kid and we build a set, and it's just time together, and we get to do that again tomorrow, just with a little bit more fanfare. We're having a card release party at Absolute Sports Cards in Savage, Minnesota. That's my LCS. I was just there tonight going over everything. We're gonna did a bunch of pub on it. Hopefully we got a bunch of kids coming in and get introduced to this hobby, and if it's not hockey, they get introduced to something else while they're at the store and get a bunch of new collectors out of the deal.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm just looking right here, just the Austin Matthews card, just that photo and the excitement and just the way it looks. The nameplate and the team logo takes nothing away from the photography.
Right.
It just looks clean. I love it. I'm excited. Like I'm gonna probably pick either a build a set, pick up through packs or singles or something like that, just because it's been fun and chasing after those young guns. It's super cool because let's talk about that. I didn't mention autographs. I didn't mention mem cards like I do with all the other sets. Now they're in there. They're not guaranteed, but people don't care about that when you're opening Series 1 or Series 2. You care about these young guns. You're going to get 6 a box, and you might pull a guy that, hey, that guy might not be any good, but 3-4 years from now, you go back through and you're like, oh, well, holy moly, I got Bobby, whatever, awesome. I can't pronounce his last name, Hobby. It's like Hobby Bulin, yeah, like awesome. But I love that. I love the fact that the bait, like a subset rookie card or whatever you want to call it, the true rookie card, that's what people are going after.
Right.
That's why they're opening this box, is 30 years of nostalgia, right? Plus, on top of that, this Young Guns thing. And I just think it's amazing that this kind of a set, this iconic run of a set, that is what everybody's chasing after. To me, that I love it. It's pure collecting.
You almost wish the other sports would sort of follow suit so you don't get saturated with high school baseball cards. You know, like you just talked about that college set, and nobody had a comment on it because you didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, a product like this comes out, and it's a true rookie card. You don't have to have a debate if it's this Olympic card or the '87 one, or these are the rookies, guys, and that's it.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I understand, like with baseball, if they were to do, say, like a Bowman, if Bowman draft, and they got the year they got drafted, they were in Bowman draft, and that was their one. So they have like a draft card, and then they don't get another card until they debut. Instead of putting them in every Bowman release for like 6 years until they debut or bust out.
Right.
You know, and then everybody's like, well, I have Vlad Guerrero minor league, Bowman card, but it's like, well, that's his fourth Bowman.
Right.
You know, I don't know. I don't make the rules in that. I just wish that, then it kind of gives you a chance to get some other players in there. But I'm excited. Steph, what are you doing with hockey this year? I know you collect the Dallas Stars.
No, and check fucking arm. No,
Green still sucks.
Indeed, thank you. No, it might be my only distraction from the fact that the Wild are miserable this year. Trying to collect this set. I look to hockey to kind of ease the pain and suffering of the baseball season and the football season. That's usually disappointing me by now, and it has to a degree. But this year I might turn to actually collecting more than in years past. It's a pretty good draft class. I know a few people that swear by just buying the set offhand, secondhand by someone else, but it's just not as fun. It's not as fun as going to Target or the dollar store or the hobby shop or buying a factory box from someone else and breaking it yourself. It's not the same.
So out of all these 50 young guns, besides Mr. Hughes, who's card 201, who are a couple other guys we need to take a look at?
Sure, let me look.
Let's see. I'm going to throw out a name here. Cody Glass.
Vegas.
Is he good? Oh, good. I just randomly picked a name I could pronounce. Matt Waugh. Is he happen to be Patrick Waugh's son?
Do not think they're of relation. We can check.
We can run it by. I don't think so.
Joakim Nygaard. Joakim Nygaard? I don't know.
Guy. Scored a hat trick in his first game in Montreal, end of last year.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's fun to look through here and then go back a couple years and look and go, oh yeah, so that's what's really cool is to be able to do that. And these are actually true rookie cards. These guys are actually, just starting their careers.
Right.
So, yeah, I love it. So Steph's going to do a report on that for us and get back to, let us know. He's going to track all of their careers and let us know how they do. I'll
make one.
Yeah, starting to finish off the 18-19 basketball collecting season, Panini Flawless drops Friday. It's only $2,000 a box. 1 pack per box, 10 cards per pack, 8 autographs, 1 mem, a gym card. Gym as far as diamonds, not the gymnasium. It's the highest of the high-end basketball releases of the year.
Tim,
low print runs, on-card autographs, premium swatches, diamonds, in a briefcase. So it's super cool. Every autograph in 2018-19 is on card. It also has several autograph memorabilia inserts like patch autographs, laundry tag autos, championship autograph tags from the actual NBA Finals, signature prime memorabilia, and star swatch signatures. That class, I mean, we talked about 17-18 forever. 18-19 stuff has just been insane in the secondary market. 19-20 is already just when collegiate Prizm basketball is like nuts like it is. And a box of hoops is like $130. It's 50 more bucks than it normally is. Basketball has exploded in collecting in the last 3 years. It is, I don't know, man. It's nuts to me.
How does this measure up to 1991 Flair baseball?
Well, it's no 91 Fleer baseball. We know that 91 Fleer baseball is the greatest single set ever released.
That is absolutely correct.
Yes.
I just wanted to double check because
thank you. I forgot. I just thought I had to go without saying. I didn't think I had to say it out loud.
Yeah, if 91 Fleer dropped today, it would at least be $2,001 per case, right?
No, per card. Per card.
Oh, per card. Okay. Just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
And tonight's show is
pure gold.
Tonight's show is unofficially brought to you by not 1990 or 1992 Fleer, but 1991 Fleer.
See, I thought our show today was brought to you by the cat that was on the field the other day.
Only if he appeared in the greatest living set of all time.
91 Fleer.
I can mock it up.
No, I'm going to give you Flawless is amazing, but just I put this on Twitter this week. So you had Flawless baseball or basketball drop, which is $2,000 a box. You also have next week. We'll just get in what's brewing next week's releases from Panini. You also have Panini certified basketball next week, 2019-20 certified basketball, 2019-20 Panini Flawless Collegiate basketball drops next week, 2019 Panini Immaculate football drops next week, and then 2019 Panini Flawless baseball drops next week. So you're telling me that you're dropping 3 Flawless products in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
You're dropping an Immaculate product, and you're also going to drop a certified product, which is of basketball.
Yes.
It's insane. Like, you couldn't kind of like, oh, just, hey, man, Flawless is our number one brand. We're just going to drop it all at once on you. I understand calendars and things get moved around, but it just looks bad. Also, we have 2019 Topps High-Tech Baseball coming out. Try to figure that set out for you. Good luck. We also have 2019 20 Topps NHL Sticker Collection, which is pretty cool. Topps has the sticker license, so they can actually use the logos and the players and do one of their sticker albums. I'm excited to see what that looks like. Those are always fun. So, yeah, and so we're gonna hop into infield chatter, our hobby talk section. We got a lot tonight, so be ready. So we had some breaking news before the show started tonight. Crazy news, breaking news. Topps names its 2019 all-rookie team. At first base, we have Pete Alonso of the New York Mets. Second base, Keston Hiura of the Milwaukee Brewers. At third, Vlad Guerrero, Toronto Blue Jays. At short, Fernando Tatis, San Diego Padres. At catcher, Will Smith of the Los Angeles Dodgers. DH is Yordan Alvarez of the Astros. Outfield consists of Eloy Jimenez of the White Sox, Brian Reynolds of the Pirates, and Victor Robles of the Nationals. Our pitching staff is Nick Anderson of the Rays, John Means for being out there. What's up, buddy? John made the list, Mr. Means, and Mike Soroka of the Braves. Ooh, those are some pretty heavy hitters.
Who, if I'm Soroka, if I'm not mistaken, his dad was an ex-hockey guy, and he'd almost tried out to go pro in hockey instead of baseball.
So he's this generation's Tom Glavine.
Kind of.
So Tom Glavine was a 4th round pick by the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah.
Are all of these guys going to have overpriced short print Topps Now cards tomorrow?
Yes.
Topps on demand.
Topps on demand, baby. We need that on demand money. Steph and I were talking pre-show that there are 3 cards, I think, for a baseball collector that you look for that don't have autographs.
Yep.
One, I would say, is the first Bowman Chrome. The second's going to be a rookie card, Topps base rookie card, a flagship. And the second, or the third and final one, is if they're an all-star rookie cup guy.
I'll add one more.
Okay. What's that? But the rookie cup always was kind of like, when you pulled one of those, you knew, hey, as a kid, like, oh, this is a good card. He's got that all-star rookie cup. It means he was a heck of a player.
Right.
And what's the 4th card, Steph?
So you got the rookie, you got the Bowman Chrome / Bowman Draft Auto, you have the rookie cup, and you have the final card. More so for the vintage guys, like Killer 75 Topps, or George Brett's 93 Topps?
94.
94 Topps?
What about the Olympic cards?
Well, nobody cares about the Olympic set, apparently.
No, those are the rookie cards.
Thank you. Nobody cares about the Olympic cards.
I
Thank
didn't
you.
say they were right. I just said nobody does.
No, that's fine. Thank you. Okay, moving on.
No, this is a pretty good team here. I mean, there's no, no
So-
Royals, no A's, and no Twins, so it makes us all a little sad.
I mean,
why did they only have
The argument-
3 pitchers? That seems awful random.
starter, reliever, closer. In theory,
I guess maybe. I mean, you would think that
an American.
They used to just do 2 pitchers. They usually did a righty and a lefty.
Right.
yeah. Why not a righty lefty American National? Why not do 2 starters, 2 relievers, 1 from each league? I mean, you can't tell me that there wasn't at least 1 or 2 more.
Every rookie should have an all-star rookie cup card.
I agree. If you were a rookie this year, if you hit a home run this year,
You're such a snowflake.
it just 3 seems extremely random.
Yeah, it used to be. I want to say 2, but
Yeah, why not 2? Why not 4? You could have had 2 from each league. You had 2 in the American League and 1 in the National.
On the show, that seems random. What do you think? We'll just go down to 2. Maybe we'll go back to 3. Maybe 2. 3.
This is the most amount of power anybody has ever had that went straight to their head for no absolute purpose reason.
Oh.
Especially if you're going to eliminate somebody, why not eliminate the one that can never get the intro of the show correct?
No, because that guy's the best one. He's the most handsome on the show. Monday.
How would we know? How would we know? We never see Steph's face.
There's a reason.
Nobody wants to see it.
He doesn't even have a mirror in his house.
No, they
Let's
are.
be honest. On Monday, Topps dropped the 2020. God, it's gonna be weird to say 2020 Bowman design. I think that it might be one of they actually tried this year. I think they did. I think they actually Steph's gonna show us here. I think they actually decided we should probably do better than we have the last few years, and I think they did a good job.
Now, of course, there's a slight border here. You can't really see with the.
It's hard. It's not rounded. They're not rounded. There we go.
It looks much more like a Topps card than what we've seen over with Bowman the last couple of years.
It looks like one of their old digital cards, just with the nameplate. That to me is what it looks like.
Yeah,
it does. I mean, if you slapped a Topps up in the corner instead of Bowman and said that's 2020 Topps, all right. It may not be what you want.
We are getting.
What's that?
I said I'd almost prefer this design over what we are getting for 2020 Topps.
Now, how do you, Nick? How do you feel about the cropping on this card? Because we talked about your comments when they released the pictures of the 2020 Topps flagship set and how elbows and certain things where hands were cut off on certain guys. On other guys, they came through on the border.
Right. I'm cool with this one. For me, I always want to see the hands. I don't know why. It's just a thing. But both his hands are there. I like the little pop out of the design, not like the helmet out of the border. Like it adds to it. Like to me, that's solid. You see his eyes. There's no the whole C cup phenomenon. That thing bugs the hell out of me. It's like a white face mask for hockey.
The what bugs you?
Oh yeah, because you can't see the face. It kind of ruins the photo for me.
What about the lack of focus on the guys in the dugout? That's
fine too. Again, it brings you more attention to the subject. And that's what they're trying.
It looks like an outline, And so my thing is I don't know this because I don't design that stuff. Is it harder to make them stand out, like basically bring them forward for people that if you ever edited a picture in like a Word document outside of the border like that?
No, they're just going to take a little tool and trace around his head, and they're going to copy it. They're going to paste it, and they're going to put it on top of. That's going to be
right.
It's like a sandwich. It's the actual photo, the border, and then the part you just copied.
Okay,
right.
Because it looks like
the other one.
Yeah, I like how the guy comes out a little bit, because when we looked at the ones for Topps, like Acuna did that, but a couple of the other guys didn't, and it was like the border was eating their shoulders or eating their backs,
right,
or something, and it just was like the consistency to me was not there.
Right.
And going through these first couple photos, it's there, and I think it looks good.
Yeah, I like these.
Like, the Bobby Witt with the glove, and looks like the Bowman logo is going into his glove. That's pretty cool.
What's the set run on this? Do you have that?
No, they're just released the. There's usually 100 card or 150 card vet set, and then the same for the prospects.
Gotcha.
So, So it'd be, it's just one of those things. Like Bowman's always one of the most sought after sets, and it's nice to take a look at it early and get an idea of what it's going to be, what's up and coming. So, yeah. So real quick, Jared Weaver. Don't remember him. He's a good dude, man. This is the former Angels stud. There was a tweet from Sigs for Soldiers, our buddy Tim over there. He had a Jared Weaver 2014 Topps tribute to the Stars, numbered 6 out of 24. He was asking $10 for the card, 100% going directly to at MMIA 27526. It was a charity. And Weaver tweeted back, "I'll give you $1,000 for it if you promise it goes to the Soldiers." And then Jeff Weaver and Phil Hughes started going back and forth. Phil, who started collecting, was collecting and doing some breaks and stuff, I think now, tweeted out, "Hey, I have Jared. I have a couple of your cards. They're also available for $1,000." And he goes, "You're not a great cause, Phil. Sorry." And Phil said it was debatable, and they were kind of going back and forth. And Jared doesn't know the correct part, way to say or type it out, but a big deal. I just thought it was cool that he reached out and was going to pay $1,000 for a card that someone was trying to get $10 for, and
right,
to go to the Chaws. And if you've not checked out Signatures for Soldiers, it's awesome. They have like shirts and gear you can buy, and the profits go.
As well as dog tags, yeah.
Dog tags. They have a bunch of cool stuff. They were selling autographs at the National, and all the proceeds were going to the cause. And I met Tim. He's a really great guy. I mean, besides having a great name, let's start there. It was really nice. So
should actually shoot him a message, see if he wants to come on one week.
Yeah,
or a weekend.
Do a show. So we thought
that
was
that
cool
also
story.
goes out to Phil Hughes, who we've reached out to on Twitter.
Of course.
Phil Hughes is welcome on the show as well. I mean, Jared Weaver, too, despite the fact that he used to eat the A's alive, man. He was another guy I could not stand watching in a good way.
Yeah, his brother Jeff was pretty good, and everybody thought Jeff was really good. Then Jared showed up, and it was like, oh. It was like Ramon. We all thought Ramon Martinez was good, and then we saw Pedro pitch, and we're like, oh, yeah.
Jared Weaver had what, 3-4 years where he was just absolutely dominant and elite,
he was the dude.
He was disgusting. I mean, whenever he'd pitch, he was like Felix Hernandez, a couple other guys. Who's the matchup tonight? Oh, it's Weaver. Okay, well,
turn on my watching.
Good chance.
Yes.
Yeah, but he was that good to where you still wanted to watch because you know it's going to be so fun. But you're like, man, this is going to be 4-1. If
like those years Lincecum had when he won the Cy Youngs.
Yeah,
when he would just roll out, and you're just like, how is that guy doing that? That's not
well. The A's weren't that good, and they weren't that fun to watch anyway. Around the time that Weaver's peak was at, so it's kind of twofold.
Yeah,
but yeah, Weaver was disgustingly good for
And then one day,
years.
his ability just went
for context.
I think he got injured.
Yeah,
2011 to 2014, he went 67-30, 2.99 ERA, almost 800 innings pitched, and 626 Ks.
Yeah.
I guess so. Now his peak was in line when the A's are going to the playoffs.
2010
they were there in
2014-ish.
Yeah, they were there in 2012. That was the big year.
How about 2014?
2014 went 18-9.
No, the A's in 2014. I don't know what happened there.
Did they play baseball that year? That was the strike shortened year, right?
Yeah. Topps Montgomery factory set dropped. So Yanks chick sent out our friend Sue's got my Topps 582 Montgomery Club complete set along with another exclusive set. So imagine a factory set of 2019 Topps, but it was with the 582 Montgomery Club stamp on it. Mike Summer, his buddy Mike at the Mike Summer. It was part of a direct-to-consumer membership club called the Topps 582 Montgomery Club. I really like it. I wrote several reviews of the various sets over the course of the year. Lots of stars, rookies, and a couple of autos were in other sets. I looked on eBay. These sets were going for about $200. That was a day or so ago. Not quite sure where they are today, but And I don't think she was going to open it, but I know that some people were pretty excited. It doesn't have the update guys in there, so whoever's in Series 1 and 2 will be in there. What do you guys think? Ben, is this something you're going to try to run down and grab the A's?
You know what? Shut up. I'm on eBay right now. This sucks. Man, I hate this crap.
You don't need it.
We don't need any of this stuff. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. There's absolutely no, this whole hobby, this whole everything is just a phantom market. There's no associated value at all. We just decided
this might be the one. This might be the one thing that the guys in the Montgomery Club actually might get their money's worth out of, because it's pretty expensive to do, and they were just dropping a couple grand for random cards that are going to be sent to them. And I'm looking. There's a lot of completed sales. The lowest one I've seen the last couple of days was $180. So, look at this little note. Here we go. Check that out. I pitched. Val 5 says he pitched in high school against Jeff Weaver. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
And the most I've seen, 225, and then a couple best offers were accepted that were originally at 250. So, and then let's see, the minis are back. Maybe Topps Living Stat tweeted out, for those interested, the mini version of the flagship set is now available for $25 per pack of 35 cards, which includes 30 base and 5 parallels, for a potential of autos or dual booklets autos. But and it said, hey, it was going to be available for like a month. Oops, it was gone in minutes.
They gone.
So this is it's all 1,000 cards. So we'll talk about this in a future week. But it's the mini version of the flagship set, right. And it's all 1,000 cards, and so it's going to be a fun one to build if you're trying to do all 1,000 and you're getting 30 cards a set. So obviously Topps had a limited number of sets or packs that they made. So. Then there's another one to run down, bud.
No, I found it. I found it was only a $10 set, so I got the
minis or the Montgomery.
The Montgomery. I'm looking for the mini.
The minis now you're gonna need to run down. So
I don't see an Ace team set.
Yeah,
but they're no.
So that's gonna be fun. I don't know. I feel like all this on-demand stuff is yeah.
The hardest part is, you don't necessarily. So like the retail exclusives, we talked about Topps Fire in the past, and then now you have, Ginter X and Minis and Sapphire, and it's just the fact that a lot of collectors aren't even aware that they exist because they don't show up on any release calendar, and the next thing you know, they're there. And if you're not checking your email and the emails from Topps, it's ridiculous.
Well, I got the email from Topps at 9:10 about the mini stat, and it was already gone by then. So, yeah. Anyway, so Mark might have outdone him even himself now. Our buddy at Mark Hoyle 4. So this is a 1976 Denny Doyle 10-card progressive proof set that he picked up. So you're going to have to explain.
Would be any idea?
Yeah, you'll have to explain this to me a little bit.
So the idea, I was going to see if Nick knew any to make it sound official and all, but no, the idea from what I gather is that as they're printing the set, they pull out certain sheets to look at to make sure that all of the texts are lining up properly, all of the alignments are made right, so that the black sheet isn't printed 10-12 pixels up instead of down where it's supposed to be. All of the alignments are right, all of the colors coming out as they're supposed to. Maybe they want to do a test set to see what happens if we do it this way first, as far as design elements, and trying to innovate. as far as what they can do with the printer. So they'd print, here's just the yellow, here's just the blue, here's just the magenta, here's a hybrid blown out yellow, here's this color combination, here's this color combination, here's just the black, which you should probably have up next to the other three separated ones. Here's most of the process, and here's what looks to be a final produced 76 top set.
That's pretty crazy.
Kind of cool to look at.
Yeah, and of course he would be the one that has it.
Oh, naturally. Well, and he said, I think that in the replies that he picked it up for $100 for the 10. I think it's 10. 10. 10. Indeed.
Mark Royals got
the guy had several hundreds of them, and just what was cut. He had more.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Mark's got an incredible collection, and the fact that he so willingly shares all of his cool finds with us is amazing.
Well, and that's just it. He sends out his tweet like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. So when I get up, I have a tweet of something amazing to look at. There's actually he came in handy because, and I know I mentioned this pre-show. There was a card that came through at work that it kind of looked like a Fleer set from the 70s, where they had the cloth logo emblems, but it didn't match up right. And mostly because it had a figure of a player making a play or something to that effect. Well, what it was a test issue from 1973, an action emblem set that doesn't get out very much. So I shot him a description of it, and he's like, oh yeah, this is exactly what it is. Oh, by the way, here's one that I have, here's one that I bid on in the past, and here's a printing sheet up on eBay. Well, okay, so we need to create this for our database, but yes, thank you for the information. And actually, the print sheet sold for $333. Give you an idea, the one that I was looking at was Texas and New York.
Yeah, every once in a while, Mark will shoot me a DM of something that I generally don't have, generally something from the 60s, and it's generally something that's Kansas City A's. And, he's such a good friend of the show, and I know he sent all of us something multiple times. He's just a good friend, and it's fun, like you said, Steph, where you'll open up Twitter and I'll have 40 notifications, and it's like, all right, Mark must have bought something, and tag me.
Mark posted something, and Cliff has replied, and
then you're like, oh,
that's all you need to know.
If Cliff's involved, your day is done on Twitter. Yeah, I thought that was cool. Mark Hoyle will be interested to know that Andrew Benintendi is now a Yankee. Breaking news there. Andrew Benintendi is a Yankee. At Tony's Hobby Vault, our buddy tweeted out a picture of a 2019 Topps Triple Thread Andrew Benintendi jersey relic, numbered out of 27. He said, am I missing something here? The jersey in question is white with navy pinstripes. Let's see, what kind of jersey does that look like? I don't think the Red Sox play in white with navy pinstripe jerseys.
Don't think they do.
I think their buddies in New York do. So unless, maybe they know something we don't know.
Now, the theory mentioned in the comments is maybe it's a minor league image, and I haven't taken the time, and I don't think I saw anybody who had matched up all of the jerseys that they wore through the Red Sox minor league system.
I
probably
probably we're not going to have pinstripes.
Probably going to assume that they probably don't, but it's one of those things.
The Pawtucket Stock Yankees,
right?
But see, Triple Threads is a high enough end product to where, come on, even if he did have pinstripes somewhere along his minor league career, the quality control on that, what Red Sox fan wants that, even if it was from a AA team, theoretically.
Their quality control process is fuck it, print it.
No, we know we've built 73 shows on this, but it's just, come on, man. But thanks for Tony to shoot that our way. It's almost like if you're somebody like Mark who collects Red Sox, you almost want to add that piece to your collection just because, and then go out and get one that presumably has a Red Sox patch on it.
Right.
Hey, real quick on Twitter, our buddy Brent Becca. I've opened just over 900 silver packs from Update. Jesus, I've yet to hit a super. I've yet to hit a super, and I'm averaging less than an auto every 50 packs, including a 112 pack run with no auto. I've sold 110 sealed packs, including 50 to my friend, who just opened his packs from me. And in his packs, he pulls a Vlad Guerrero auto, a Corbin Martin auto, a Cole Tucker auto, a Superfractor base of Lane Thomas, and a Superfractor auto of Ichiro Suzuki. Brent, you sold the wrong 50 packs, bud. Yeah.
So it looks like you could have both a Red Sox and a not Red Sox because there's
that obviously would be,
You would have to have both just because even as a Red Sox fan and hating the Yankees, it would just be a cool piece to have.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially if it's the only one that has a patch like that.
Oh, hot garbage. Hot garbage. Yeah, I agree. The photo should match the jersey, but we talked about that last week. Was that triple threads as well, where the Ricky Henderson was in the Yankees, but he had a Mets patch?
Yeah, that was actually that was Brent Williams that pulled that, and it was
a couple weeks ago we talked about that shit.
Yeah, a 101 Henderson Yankee with a big, beautiful Mets patch, and it's just like all of a sudden, you start to go down the tiers.
If it was a Panini product and you just said New York, then you'd been fine.
Yeah, because it's absolutely the perfect marriage of the two.
Yeah. So speaking of Panini, they got copped a little attitude with our buddy Ken Kinsley today at Beans B Card blog. So he tweeted out, "Why can't @Panini release checklist? Prizm draft picks releases today, and no checklist or reply to my tweets. If they wonder why so many people badmouth them, this is a great example of why. I could be in their office in 20 minutes. Perhaps I should pay a visit." And then DJ Kazmarak responded back, and I forget what his title, VP of Sales over at Panini into product development, said the checklist is on the site. Thanks for the tweet. So Bean went and said, "Hey, just looked 5 minutes ago and again now. I don't see anything under releases. Correct. I'm looking for." He was looking because then Steph said, "Hey, I found it," but then he goes, "I'm looking for baseball and stuff." Is like, "Oh yeah," and it wasn't there. I know Ryan Cracknell tweeted out mid-afternoon. At least California time here, so later in Texas, that he had his. So, Steph, is it there on their website yet?
Nope. I guess you guys can see it that way, huh?
Yeah.
1 second.
No, I like that. And then also too, nor is there a checklist for 1819 Flawless Basketball, which also dropped today. Which is, we talked $2,000 a box. Go ahead and just open it. There's cards in there.
Which 19 you said?
Yeah, 19 Panini Prizm Draft Picks Baseball Collegiate. Genre.
No, for basketball.
Oh, 1819 Panini Flawless Basketball.
Flawless Collegiate's up?
No, yeah, but if you click 1819 Flawless, I know I did this earlier. I went through the whole steps. You click it, you can download the Excel file, and it was empty. It was just a blank Excel sheet. We've talked about this. I don't understand how, the attitude. Yeah, it's up there. Check our site. Well, no, it's not, because even if the dude thought it was basketball, in his tweet it says it releases today. There's no Prizm basketball that came out today. There was a baseball product, and if you're the guy selling the product,
so tell me what's wrong with this. Basketball 19 Panini Flawless base.
No, you need it's 1819.
But no.
Oh, that's football.
Is it?
Yeah. Those are football players. and that says basketball, and those are football players. I don't know what that's fun. That's close enough. It says college team names. People say like why? I mean, as a collector, the only thing you can do is stop buying that product. But if that's not going to happen, because if I don't buy a product, then Nick's gonna hop in and buy that product, and if Nick doesn't buy it, Ben's gonna do it. And if Ben doesn't do it, Steph's gonna do it. There's always gonna be somebody waiting to replace you to pick up those cards and take your spot in paying them the money for these cards. I just think it's something that we keep voicing it over and over again. I mean, I understand sometimes there's delays and changes, but if the product is printed and it's opening that day, I don't understand how they don't know what's in there.
No, I think it was our friend Doug at Mojo. I believe it was Doug, might have been Dan, but had mentioned that it has something to do with, in their opinion, not wanting to say Saquon Barkley is live on that checklist if he ends up being a redemption, because it could theoretically adversely affect, point of sale. But at the same time, I contest the fact that, again, we all have limited budgets, whether we do it on purpose or not, right? I mean, even if you have more resources than others, you might, self-allocate only a certain amount of your budget for cards. It'd be nice to know how I want to spend my money, right? Here I am on the show tonight with you guys, not aware that there's a team set out there from Montgomery 582 that I now need as an ace collector. It would have been nice to know that was being made. That way I could decide whether or not I want to set aside $15 for that.
We should have been part of the Montgomery Club.
I should have been. We should have been as about the cards. We should have bought one subscription.
But what I'm saying is like, even if he was, you say Barkley, you brought up the Barkley example. I don't care if he's a redemption. Release the checklist. It doesn't say if the redemptions are not on the checklist.
Well, and bottom line is release the checklist because it's what's in the product. Doesn't matter who's on it, because whoever's on it's on it. It's not going to change. All it's going to change is the fact, and like you said, just because Ben decides, well, you know what, it's not rich.
Third person.
Yeah, it's not rich enough with my personal collecting needs, whatever it is, player-wise, team-wise. I'm going to sit this one out. They're still going to sell the product because there's always going to be another buyer.
There's always one more chucklehead in line to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, releasing that checklist a couple of days early isn't going to affect the overall sales. It's just going to affect individual sales. And
it's frustrating.
Let's turn that around, right? What happens if you're not looking at, I don't want to buy this new product coming out because it's not in my price range, or it's probably in years past it hasn't really been beneficial for my PC, and then you see the checklist and you're like, wait a minute, I want it this year because now it's got my guy in it, right? A guy like Ken, who's collecting John Means for no particular reason. All of a sudden, what if John Means is heavy rich in this particular product, and all of a sudden Ken gets pulled in? We're shining the negative. Well, that checklist isn't what I want. What if it is? What if you hadn't planned on it?
Yeah. It's now this is where I think that Nick's going to be very helpful with this. So Panini has a lawsuit versus Collector's Vault. And these tweets all come from Paul Lesko. I'm going to kind of read them in order when we're going to talk about this. Now, Collector's Vault, what they were doing was reusing the rated rookie logo and some other Panini's trademarked logos and ideas or print properties or whatever, however you want to classify it. Yesterday, Panini filed a motion requesting the ability to serve Collector's Vault. First of all, Collector's Vault is spelled with a K, which, anyway.
So real quick, Tim, let's give a little bit of backstory before you read what the development is. So basically, Collector's Vault has been on eBay selling intellectual properties that are protected by Panini. They're selling cards that have specific designs. And really, I think the focus of this is on the rated rookie use by Collector's Vault. And they've sold it on multiple cards. and Panini filed a lawsuit. I don't know if it was a cease and desist or whatnot, but it's a very in-depth lawsuit basically saying that they need to stop immediately. The issue has been Panini has failed to find out who's behind the eBay account. And because it's linked to nothing more than a P.O. box, it's been challenging by Panini in the past. And basically the court said, figure out who this person is, or you're going to end up losing the case because you have to have a defendant. And honestly, this is an open and shut case. Panini is going to win this hands down, but they're failing to find out who the person is. So yeah. I'll let you resume now, because that's kind of now they've taken a step in the right direction as what you're about to read is going to illustrate.
So yesterday, Panini filed a motion requesting the ability to serve Collector's Vault by alternative service. Panini requests that it is able to serve Collector's Vault via email, mail, and/or publication. The motion goes into actions Panini took in trying to ID Collector's Vault, including subpoenaing eBay, which responded and gave Panini a P.O. box, and the U.S. Post Office, which refused to give Panini any information. Most interesting nugget is Panini hired a private investigator as well to look into this, and that apparently shows that's how Stephen Teeny was identified. Teeny denies he is associated with Collector's Vault. Court will likely rule quickly on this motion, as defendant Stephen Teeny apparently will not oppose. Once the court authorizes alternative service, the case will finally get to begin. A lot of work being done to identify Collector's Vault. Next big mystery, once Collector's Vault is served, will it show up and defend itself?
So, for example, here's one of the cards that's he was trying to hawk.
Or she. So it's got the 80, it's got the 18, was that 2017 tops?
17, 18? Yeah, somewhere in there.
Yeah. And then the rated rookie. So tops and Panini.
18.
Well, and he probably stole the photo too.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah.
Well, that, and then he, on top of that, yeah.
Or
so
they.
It.
Can we just preface this by saying Stephen Teeny is not, it hasn't been proven he's affiliated with Collector's Vault. Allegedly, according to one of Paul Lesko's tweets, he registered the P.O. box with Collector's Vault or something along those lines back in 2011. But as of right now, Stephen Teeny might be Collector's Vault and might not be. So we just want to make sure that's out there, that we are unsure. It's just basically right now that he's not opposing what Panini is alleging. Therefore, he's by default almost admitting it based on how the tweets are reading.
Follow the money.
Pardon?
Well, if like the post office isn't going to give any information, can't they follow the money? Like when you pay this guy or gal.
Well, you're just
bank records.
Else, like there's got to be records associated with that.
Yeah, and that's kind of where Panini has failed to show the court, and the court's kind of getting frustrated with the whole thing. Is yeah, there are probably plenty of avenues to get a whole. If I give you $5, Nick, where's it going, right? PayPal has a transaction between you and I, even if it's under, NW Incorporated.
Right.
It's still going somewhere, and there's got to be a paper trail to where we can finally find out that you're the one that has access to the account that it ends up in.
Right.
You would think that you could subpoena some type of transactional record, to find out that you're behind NW Incorporated.
Right.
Well, so, and interestingly, I did a search on the owner who's alleged to have been.
You're doing the same thing. He's also on the most wanted page of Sports Card Radio's website.
Well, of course. But
so
owned, operated under the name Card Store here. Primarily operates in industry. Organization has been operating for approximately 30 years. Estimated to generate $334,000 in annual revenues. Employs approximately 6 people in a single location.
So real quick, Nick. Now we know we mentioned on a show before when we kind of got into this whole thing that why Tops and Upper Deck don't piggyback on this, and even Paul Lesko had tweeted about that. This is a perfect opportunity for them to come in and basically, as an industry, all get together and say, stop. We all have IP here that's involved, and you need to cut it out. And really, Tops and Upper Deck can sit in the back of the lawsuit and not really have to pay any money because they're just kind of piggybacking on Panini's lawsuit.
Right.
But you as a photographer, what if that was your picture of Zion?
I'd be super pissed.
I mean, you would have legal rights, right? Or is that something that now would fall under the jurisdiction of Panini in this case on your behalf, that now they own that property?
Oh, well, it depends. Well, and that's the thing too. It's, let's say I do work for Upper Deck and then somebody steals those photos for something else. The quality ain't going to be that high.
Sure.
You know, because it's going to be a scan of something, or, you know, it's just a matter of where they're getting it. But, you know, who knows? They could have licensed the photo through.
But theoretically, they didn't, right? I did a Google search on Google Images, and I stole your photo, and I slapped it on an upper, you know. I'm creating my own custom card, which I think legally I can do as long as I don't sell it.
Correct.
It's the second that I sell it, now I'm selling, you know, protected and licensed IP.
Or even just passing that off as your own work as well, you know.
So theoretically, if I were to do that, you could thus sue me, right? Or would that be Upper Deck because you're contracted with them?
Probably, I don't know. But it happens all the time. Like, I'll see my work pop up, and I'll just be like, "Hey, who gave you permission to use the photo?"
Right.
Oh, I just thought I could take it. Like, just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's free, you know.
Right.
And that whole thing. But, you know, I'm like, I always give people the option. You can pay me, you can delete it, or if I see it again, I'm just going to report you for copyright infringement. And stuff usually comes down pretty quick after that.
Well, I have this photo of this hockey player, and this is what I'm gonna use and sell online.
Well, and to your point, Nick, I think a lot of people, if you were to reach out to me, and I'm doing it because, you know, I want to create my own custom cards, and you're like, hey, that's my photo, I'm going to stop, you know, because maybe I really am naive and don't really understand how that works.
Right.
Or maybe I'm not naive and I just don't want the threat of a lawsuit. The issue with this guy is Panini reached out to Collector's Vault and said, hey, stop. And he just didn't, assuming that it is that it is this guy or another person, he didn't stop. He's not responding. He has no intent. He's still listing things, still making new cards, still profiting. In this particular case, it's the lack of remorse, and it's the continued use of properties that are protected.
Well,
that's causing.
If you're going to do this in the first place, I don't think you're going to be working with anybody with sort of moral high ground. So they probably don't give a crap anyway, you know?
I'm sure. And, you know, the issue being, even if Panini wins, and this is kind of what I've spoken at length with Paul about this.
What are they going to
Are they going to go after the profits? How much profits? Are we talking hundreds? Are we talking thousands?
Well, who's buying that crap anyway?
Dummies.
I've bought ACO cards in the past, so I'm one of the big dummies.
Okay. Yeah. Stop that. No.
Shame on me. You're right. I should stop it because I'm enabling people and encouraging people. But Paul tells you himself, every card that Paul tweets about, all of these cards that Collector's Vault, he buys, not to encourage and not to enable, but because that's kind of what he PCs. He PCs stuff that is not legal, and error cards and things that are off the beaten path.
Right.
Well, and that's, at least at work, we can't take them in just because of the legalities surrounding them, is the word I was looking for. We can't list them. We have to reject them just because of somebody coming back and saying, hey, look, you sold me this. It's not legit. I want my money back. Yeah. It's just easier to say we don't take them.
Yeah, I just thought it was crazy. So some more craziness. issues we've talked about in the past. So now tracking serial numbers. At Wax Museum PC, who has a great podcast out there as well, sent out a tweet. I've confirmed via email this week. At Beckett Grading is working on tracking serial numbers. Now we're getting somewhere. So from Beckett to Wax Museum, yes, we're working on an internal feature that will allow us to track serial numbered cards we receive for grading. This is still in the works, but something we feel will help with previously graded cards. This is being tested now, and now with plans to have it fully functional ASAP. This is not going to resolve all of the issues with serial numbered cards, though should help address cards that BGS will grade now and in the future. Obviously, this won't track cards that PSA or SGC have previously graded, nor will it track cards that have never been submitted for grading, but will help with people cracking out BGS cases and resubmitting. So I think it's a good start. And then you talk about Steph issue Curry card, but I think the big part of this was that if they can actually start this process. I don't understand why it wasn't done before.
Right.
I would think that they would have we've graded this one of 6 card before. Huh.
You should be able, if you're not going to, if you're going to have a business like that, you're not going to be able to keep track of what images you scanned and slabbed previously. Bare minimum, you should be taking pictures, but if you're not, what they make and what business they run and what they charge, tack on an extra buck.
Oh,
that's going to be their excuse. But no,
yeah.
You should be able to look and see, okay, in the past we've graded this number 27 out of 99, whatever.
6 times.
6 times. And 6 times it's gotten slightly higher grades. Well, why is it getting a slightly higher grade? Is it somebody just had extra coffee that morning, or is it got altered and we passed it?
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. So it's kind of crazy. At least they're trying. We'll keep you updated on what's going there. So last week we had a couple topics we didn't get to, but college paydays at Saber Geek, Rich Klein, our buddy Uncle Rich. And we want to give a shout out to Uncle Rich tonight. News that his wife looks like has a new organ on the way, a kidney, I believe, and been waiting a while, and all good. So we're very excited for him and his wife, and wish them the best. So last week he tweeted out "Want hobby opinions with today's." So last week's NCAA announcement about players getting paid for their likeness. How long before Panini gets into doing a full-blown college set, since they have the collegiate license? For, against, can't wait. A couple of our friends hopped in. Cardboard Icons sounds like an expensive venture. Doesn't mean this cost won't rise with additional licensing aspect? ? This doesn't impact me. I don't collect collegiate cards. Booby Maine, what's up, Robbie? I like it, but I would just collect players for my alma mater. Fantasy Wrath, I'm all for it. Kids getting paid for their autos. What are your thoughts about this happening, and what issues do you think this could cause in the future? Ben.
So, I'll tap in here.
Steph.
Because I don't have much. I like the idea that the athletes now have a venue to get money, because in the past we've seen quarterbacks or Heisman winners getting busted for selling their jerseys or selling their autograph to fans and or sports card venues or card shops. And now apparently this looks to be legal. I haven't read the actual state statute or the NCAA announcement, but it should be interesting, both in what the companies try to push out and what it does to, like, say, flawless contenders draft picks.
A lot of it comes down to how much are they getting paid.
Right.
Because we know that the professional athletes aren't getting paid all that much by, Topps and Panini to begin with.
Sure.
So I don't think the collegiate players are going to get paid that much. Therefore, it's not necessarily going to alter the MSRP,
No, but I mean, as a college student, if it pays for an extra Chick-fil-A, You
have
gonna spend a couple hours signing away?
Just from the collector aspect, I don't think it changes the overall cost to us much, right? Whatever happens behind the scenes is irrelevant out of our pocket. I mean, a $75 box might become an $80 box. The marginal cost, if you're running a cost benefit analysis, it's not going to alter our out-of-pocket costs much. Now, as far as the collegiate athlete, they should be getting paid. Why? Because these colleges are making a fortune off of marketable guys like Tim Tebow. You know, guys that have immense popularity, that go well beyond just their particular college. And, you know, you're really talking about a handful of athletes that are really going to benefit anyway. The higher end guys, you know, that outside linebacker is probably not going to make a whole bunch of money. You know, it's really gonna...
Well, for me, it's more of outside of a collecting aspect. It's jersey sales, it's their likeness in your video games, that sort of thing. So,
sure.
You know,
I'm pumped because that means NCAA college football could come back, which is hands down the greatest video game ever made, a desert island game. So,
yeah, I think it's. I mean, it may even be like the guys can do a football camp in the off season now. Like there's so many NCAA rules, you know, that prevent you guys and gals from making any sort of money.
Yeah.
When they're not in season or anything else. So I don't know.
And some of them could use it. Here we go. Is this cat getting his money? The thing is that they could use a few extra bucks. I mean, because some of these kids come and they have families that have money to allow them to do that. Others, you know, majority of them don't, and that's why they work so hard to get a scholarship and to go to school and have that. So I think it's one thing that the idiot governor here in California has actually gotten right. He was the first one to sign that bill in, and I think Florida followed. I think once you have Florida, California, and Texas, especially football, done. Because that's where all the kids are coming from. That's where all the big schools are, for the most part. So that's when you have the big boys, like that'd be like the Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Dodgers all signing up saying, "Hey, we're for this." It's like, well, what are you going to do now?
Right.
Does this mean that Reggie Bush gets his Heisman back?
Hopefully.
Does this mean that the Fab Four in Michigan now exist again?
Yeah, but it doesn't take away that Chris Webber called the timeouts.
Well, that's Chris Webber's issue, and let's just say that his announcing isn't any better. You know, his commentary.
Terrible.
Yeah, you know what's funny is the ratings of the show just went up as Ben's picture went away.
Well, of course it did, because now the best two looking guys on the show are not on the air.
But the ratings went up. I don't get anyway. So last week we also missed on some listener questions that Ben solicited. We had 3. So at the Mike Summer, sometimes co-host of Superstar. Yeah. If you could be a trading card material, what trading card material would you be and why? He gave some examples like vintage gray stock, white stock, foil board, chrome, clear, acetate. So Nick, what kind of cardboard material or trading card material would you be?
I don't know. Wow.
What does that question even mean?
I think he would be superfractor material, whatever that's made out of.
Is cereal a soup?
I'm too it's all nostalgia for me, and it brings you back to the whole vintage.
Yeah.
The old stock, I think.
So your little gray stock.
I don't think I need anything fancy.
Old gray stock. Yeah. All right, Ben, what would you be? And you can only pick one of them. You can't be like gray stock with chrome or something.
I would have to be like the old tobacco stuff, the old curmudgeon stuff that's falling apart.
Holes in it.
Yeah, the old smelly nobody wants.
Steph, what would you be?
Junk wax. Only because nobody wants me, and secretly everybody has too much of me.
91 Fleer. You are the 91 Fleer of this podcast. I would be the bubble gum because I'm sweet and old and crunchy.
And you turn to paste when eating.
That stuff is not sweet, just for the record. So
one time it might have been. I was sweet at one time. I'm old and bitter now.
I don't know. We're gonna have to solicit your wife's opinion on that one.
See, I think that makes
Her
Ben,
opinion's the one that I give her. Okay.
see, I think that
Really?
makes Ben the gum because it was once sweet and now it's all crusty.
Yeah. At Korean Cardboard, and obviously, look
at Korean Cardboard.
You're wearing a shirt.
Nice.
Would you care if manufacturers stopped releasing relics altogether? He actually put a poll out last week on this.
Yes and no.
No, you got it's yes or no. It's not yes and no.
What was his response rate?
Well, I didn't write
594 votes. 65% is shared, by the way. 65% said
no.
No.
And 35%
said yes.
Would you care? I wouldn't care.
Yeah, I would care, but I know that you hate my two-tiered. I would want to know is he talking about like player worn or these manufactured relic crap?
I'm thinking all of it.
See, because I could do without the manufactured crap where they just make a 150th anniversary metal patch and then stick them on cards and then throw 15 different players' pictures on there. It's the exact same relic. That doesn't. I mean, yes, I buy them because I have a disease and I have to have them, but at the end of the day, those relics can be done away with, and I don't think anybody's going to miss them. I still like patch cards.
I would only mind if they. I wouldn't mind if they got rid of the random, everybody's minor star relics. Not to say that every card has to be a Mike Trout relic or etc. But if you're going to get rid of relics altogether, you're going to miss out on cards like this that I am sharing. And that's just too amazing to pass up. So for those without video, there's a Clement, a Mantle, and a Reggie Jackson. Numbers 5 and 9 for triple threads.
Which one's Clement?
Not Matt Clement. It's
the one that says Pirates.
The one that says Clemente?
So be it. Potato.
Okay. Call it good brew. Anyway. I could care less about the relics. And then Caniac Collector, today's hobby question. If your PC player were to leave your favorite team or current team, would you still collect them? Nick, what do you think? Your guy, he leaves your team.
It happens all the time. My guy had to stop having favorite players. So yeah, I don't think that bothers me that much.
Slightly less reach, 70 votes, 64% saying yes.
I've been very lucky because I collected George Brett and Barry Sanders as a kid, and they played their whole careers.
Right.
And my current guys, Andrew Luck, he retired, so he was always a Colt. And Buster Posey, I have a feeling he's going to be a Giant probably for his career.
Right.
So I think I kind of lucked out with those guys. But if you're like Ben and you're an Octavio Dotel collector, he's played for half of Major League Baseball, or Bartolo Colon, like Steph loves.
Carlos Marmol.
I got lucky because my three PC players played for every team in the league. I got Ricky Henderson, Edwin Jackson, and Octavio Dotel, A's legends.
Mike Morgan as well.
Mike Morgan got around.
Yeah. No, I mean,
the A's are the regular Beach Boys over here singing "I Get Around," right?
Indeed. No, my minor league player personal collector collection rather just got released by the Twins and got picked up by I think the Baltimore Orioles. Doesn't have any cards yet, but I look forward to that. I thought maybe update, but he got bounced. We'll see if he's in Series 1 or Series 2 next year. He's a relief pitcher. I'm not really expecting mini cards, but I'll collect him. Doesn't matter. It's not a team collection for me. It helps that he did play for the Twins, but it's not a team collection for me at that point.
Well, yeah, all of Ben's A's cards basically are that. So right, because they're all on different teams. Matt Chapman's going to be a Yankee within the next 3 years. Matt Olson will be a Dodger, a Red Sox. All your pitchers' arms are going to fall off.
Yeah, I mean, all joking aside, you're not wrong with that statement. And as an A's fan, I can't collect them beyond the hobby is too expensive, and they just again go back to the Montgomery 582 collection, right? It's just one more thing to collect, and this stuff pops up week after week after week.
I think you went real hard with Jonas Cespedes, and it kind of bit you.
Oh, I probably, outside of if you take one of ones off the table, anything that's not a one of one, I probably have about 98% of every Cespedes card ever produced. And then the day he got traded, that's it. It stopped. I can't do it. I'm deep in Ryan Healy, and he's gone. I'm deep in Chapman and Olsen, and I will collect until the sun sets on these players. But the second it sets, there's new players that take their place. For me, that's how I've chosen to collect. Yeah. If you're a player collector,
collecting your team, man. I mean, that's really what it is.
And that's the thing. It's got to be green and gold. Even the guys that are retired, guys like McGuire and Canseco and Fingers and Henderson and Jackson, the greats of the A's, I only collect them in green and gold. I'm a green and gold collector. I'm not a player collector. For me, that's how I like to collect. And anybody that likes to follow, like Steph said, with his guy, especially if you have a personal connection to him, or you do follow a college guy like John Means and Ken. Hey, that's cool. That's how you choose to collect, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, if Garrett Hampson ever leaves the Rockies, I'll follow him wherever he goes. I don't care if he's playing for the Chico Heat in the Independent League.
But what about
what if he goes to
Prizm refractors?
Dude, I went through that the other night. I have like 6 of them, and then I started looking at what I needed, and I was just stopped because it was like 47. And I was like, I have 6. And 2 of them look the same, and they're different.
This is where you can imagine certain people would have issues detecting the difference between purple and blue and light blue when they're only slightly different.
Thunderous purple or anything. All right, guys. One of our last questions we got asked last week as we were ending the show was, Steph, you have to remind me, what was our first vintage card ever?
Yes, what was the first vintage card that we purchased?
What was yours, Steph?
So I had two answers. One, my first vintage, and one's my first pre-war. To answer the question, my first pre-war was the T206 Bob Groom, not exactly Walter Johnson, whose birthday is today, but I did pretty well in 1912, 1913, if I'm not mistaken. And my first vintage, quote unquote, was a 1960 Camilo Pascual and 59 Camilo Pascual and another senator that I'm slipping.
Not bad. Nick, do you remember your first vintage or pickup?
68 Crew.
68 Crew. Pretty good. This was mine. 75 Brett.
Nice.
One of the I think I never owned one as a kid. I picked this up in October of 2012. Never owned one before as a kid. Always wanted it. It was the golden card.
You never had a vintage card before 2012?
No.
You didn't have anything that predated 79 or 75 or 70 at all?
No, I mean, I guess I did. I mean, I had some that I personally picked up. When I was a kid, my dad bought me some 76 Bretts. I had a couple 79 Bretts because that was my birth year. But I never personally paid for a vintage card myself. Yeah.
I mean, is that how we're quantifying this so that we...
That's how I took it. I mean, if I look back, my first vintage card would have been the 76 Topps All-Star George Brett that I got for my 12th birthday. For my dad, he bought me about 15 or 20 Bretts. He was in his line of work. He would travel to LA and San Diego a lot, and then he would have conventions. He was in Chicago and found a card store back there, and he came home with a stack of George Bretts for me for my birthday, and one was the 76 Topps. So that would have been my first one. This is the first one I bought. So
I got a screen share of a similar image to the one I had. It's Pedro Ramos and Camilo Pascual.
But they're on the Washington Nationals though, bro.
2 years before they became Twins. And if I'm not mistaken, actually Pascual played for the other Washington Senators and was at least on the spring training team for the Texas Rangers. He's like one of 2 guys to play for the original Senators, the Twins, the other Senators, and then the Rangers.
And I don't have any pre-war, but maybe someday. What was your first one, Ben?
I couldn't even tell you. I mean, if it's stuff that my dad bought, the most important ones was the Christmas that he ended up buying me a 62 Mantle in Maze, which
Was
is
that
pretty
the
cool.
1 year he liked you when you were a kid?
It was. I don't even know if it was a whole year, but it was at least a quarter, a fiscal quarter, quarter four of the 1988 season. But
You still have
yeah,
those
I mean,
two?
exactly. Yeah, they're sitting up on my wall. But as far as what I've picked up, I had a lot of vintage as a kid, and then I was able to go back and piece together all of the A's Tops run. So I have the master set dating back to 51 if we include the red and blue backs.
Blue. Yeah.
But I had a few pre-war cards growing up. So I honestly couldn't tell you what my first one was growing up or what the first one was I picked up as an adult. But it was probably A's on both accounts.
Nice. Well, any final thoughts, Nick? We appreciate you hanging out with us. We love your work and what you're doing and in the hunt for Hughes. We're going to make sure we retweet all your stuff tomorrow. We'd love to see photos and videos of what that looks like at your LCS and how's that going. And, we appreciate everything. I mean, like, we hung out for a good half day or evening in Chicago, which was fun. And had some good stories and the Italian beef.
Oh yeah,
Ices. That was a fun time. So, any thoughts before we take off tonight?
That
Any thoughts before we take off tonight?
like I appreciate you guys too. It's like I'll go back and listen to the episodes, and sometimes I'll just be randomly sitting here and like, oh, it's Wednesday and I'm up, hop on whatever. But I'll just thank you and keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully we all hang out again.
Of course.
Yeah,
I looked it up. Your last appearance was episode 49. Your initial appearance. We'll have to do it again before 30 episodes pass.
Yeah.
Where can other people find you?
Twitter at Nick_Wosika, WOSIKA. NickWosika.com is the website, and hopefully just through Upper Deck here in the coming weeks when we start releasing some stuff. So
you're so awesome. Love it.
You definitely have to keep us updated on that.
What's going on?
All right, fellas, you guys have anything else before we head out tonight?
Yes, stop buying ACO cards. Our friend Nick said that because people like Nick are out there working hard to present nice quality cards for us, whether it be the photo, whether it be the design, all different levels, from independent photographers to the companies themselves that manufacture these. This is, proprietary stuff. It's owned by somebody that's not you. So stop making ACO cards. And for people like Ben that have bought them in the past, stop buying them.
Stop buying those.
No matter how cool they are. No matter what it looks like to have 84 Fleer dual Canseco McGuire, you don't need one.
No. Steph, you got anything before we run out tonight?
Buy more 91 Fleer.
91 Fleer.
Love it.
The unofficial sponsor of tonight's presentation.
Awesome. Well, I'm geeking out because I received 100,000 penny sleeves today, 1,000 top loaders, and a bunch of other supplies I ordered. So, I'm like a fat kid in a candy store back here.
You need to do like a live tweet of that scene from what was it with Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore, Indecent Proposal, where you just need to have you surrounded by penny sleeves,
just
fully clothed.
The hallways, just wearing penny sleeves as socks.
Okay, that's enough. Don't live tweet it.
Yes. Remember, live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific.
10 Central, 11 Eastern.
Make sure to subscribe and review our show on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter about the cards. Follow Nick at Nick_Wasika. Follow Ben at Our Trading Cards. Follow Steph at Junkwax Twins. You can always follow me at Big Chef 79. And keep sharing your hobby stories with us, your great polls. Send your questions our way. We appreciate it. And just keep collecting. Have a good time out there. We'll see y'all next week.
Indeed.